Howdy, partner. Mr. Lickett here. Today, we're going to look at 5 changes to farming items that happened over the last few updates. If you're a returning player and you're farming based like me, well, this just might help you out. Now let's go ahead and mosey on into today's facts and tidbits. Alright, well, if you can forgive me for that terrible bit, the first thing I'm going to be showing you changed in 1.16. Zero ticking is completely dead, no matter which way you do it. You see, these are some basic farms that people would use to zero tick items like sugarcane, bamboo, etc. These don't work. Some of these worked with water pulsing back and forth, like these two here. Some of them worked with falling sand. Doesn't matter what clock you use, like that one there, which is a pretty standard clock. You could use this burnout clock here. It still just no longer works. How fast or slow you pulse it, doesn't matter. I got one over here that was an interesting design. It was a Navy Nexus one that's supposed to work for a little bit that used Frostwalker boot ice instead of regular ice or water. That does not work anymore. None of this works. We're going to take a look at a couple broken fallen sand ones, things you might be familiar with from past updates. This doesn't work. Flip this on. Sand does not even fall the same way anymore. You can see that the middle one does not try to even go down at all anymore. Now, there's even a couple of these variations over here with some sugarcane in it. Doesn't matter how you do the circuit. You can see the sand doesn't even try to fall. It just, gravity blocks do not work the same way anymore. I even have this monster over here that was a design of my own I never put out, that it unfortunately broke in that update. I spent a long time with this thing and now it doesn't even work anymore. So, you know, we're gonna have to move on to passive farms and bone meal based farms from this point on, unfortunately. Well, I guess I didn't shut that off properly. I'll just break the line there and let me teleport over to the next thing I would like to show you. If I could get my command screen up properly, that would be great. This is another little version that you may have seen before. It's for, same thing, falling sand. I just wanted to show you it doesn't work for cacti either anymore. It just doesn't matter. All of these farms are broken, and like I said, we gotta move on with our lives. Let's go on to the next thing I want to show you. This also changed in 1.16. Mobs will no longer recognize buttons. Now, for a while they were recognizing trapdoors too, but it doesn't seem like, as of right now, in 1.18.2, they would like to. So let me go over here and show you. You can see this guy's already in here, not walking over the buttons, trying to get to the villager. Let me grab my spawn eggs out of here so I can demonstrate this a little better. Now, there are alternatives now. Like I said, trapdoors did work for a while, but as of right now, they don't seem to want to pathfind over them. I'm sure you could scare creepers off of them still, or scare mobs off of them, but they don't want to walk off naturally anymore. Now, we do have an alternative, though. See, no matter how big, this is big or small, 2 wide, 3 wide, they just don't want to walk off. Our alternative currently is dead coral fans. This seems to work consistently. I know they're a lot harder to get, but this is why you might not want to use that. Now, there's other mob farms currently going around that use this mechanic with scaffolding and a water stream on top. I've seen a few that work this way. The mobs spawn in there. They get pushed along by their head into wherever you want to put them. Now, speaking of mobs, let's talk about villagers for a second. Now, this change seemed to have come around in 1.18. Last update, 1.17, this still worked. Now, you might have to use this for various mob movements, usually villagers, or, you could use it for cows if you really wanted to, but I don't know why you'd need to get cows in a space like that. This was useful for getting villagers in iron farms and such like that. A rail line with an activator rail that's powered. Once they go over it, it would drop them right into that little hole. Now you see when I power this line, he's going to go and he's not going to end up in that little space it used to. It used to work that way. Now even when I filled up all these spaces with blocks and all that, he just did not end up in that one block hole, no matter what I did. Well, I'll show you here. We can do this consistently. It's not just a fluke. Pop that guy in, send him off. Nope, nothing. And one more time, I'll pop one more down and show you. Like I said, I'll just try to repeat it so I can show you. It's not a fluke. These guys just don't want to go in there anymore. Now, the alternative that I was able to, tinker up is this guy right here. It uses a detector rail and a piston. Doesn't have to be a sticky piston. That just seemed to be what I had in my inventory at the time. And this just hooks up to a line with a repeater, powering the piston there on a slight delay, just enough so that when the villager goes by, it pushes him into that hole. Now you'll see he'll take a little damage there because this cylinder doesn't have water in the bottom of it like the other one. But once again, I'll do it so you can see it's repeatable. You pop that in there, boop, right in. Now, it just seems to be when the detector rail goes off. See, I love misplacing things. When the detector rail goes off, it powers the piston, and there's just enough of a delay that when the activator rail wants to push them out of the cart into that spot, the piston pushes them in. That's what I was able to come up with. It's a little bit more costly, but it's consistent, at the very least. Now I'll put those away, and we'll move on to the next thing I want to show you, also involving mobs. Let's see if I can teleport myself to the right spot. Alright, now we're going to be talking about something that happened in 1.17 and 1.18, both. We'll talk about these guys and these guys, two of everyone's favorites, drowns and strays. Now drowns, when you kill them, they will no longer drop gold. They only drop copper now, as of 1.18, because, you know, we have the addition of copper in the game. It's a nice little fact. You can make copper farms out of it. I'm sure you might have seen it elsewhere before. And also, as of 1.17, the strays will no longer drop wither skeleton heads when destroyed by charged creepers. That was happening for a long time. It was an easy way to get a bunch of skulls, but that's all you can do now is get them the regular way. Now also, if you feel the need to farm a bunch of slow falling arrows or slowness arrows, you could use this, but otherwise I don't know why you would. If you drop a skeleton through this 1.17, 1.18 block powdered snow and put a cobweb under it, the skeleton will fall through slowly, and by the time he gets to the bottom of that, he will turn into a stray. Kind of like when you leave a zombie in the water long enough, it turns into a drown. Well, now it works the same way for snow and skeletons. Yep, there you go. And that's pretty much that. I don't know what use you could use that for, but that's that. Now, another mob change you can see is slimes will no longer try to pathfind and attack snow golems. That was useful for slime farms, shameless self-promotion for my quad slime video, but that's just something we all have to deal with now. The alternative is iron golems, and it's effective, but a little more expensive, but if you have an iron farm and everything else, it's not that bad. You're probably going to have a worse time trying to find carved pumpkins. See, the little guys will try to go after the slime, and that's pretty much that. Now for this next one, we're going to have to go to everyone's favorite place, the Nether. So I'm going to pop through this portal here in just a second, and you'll be able to see what's going on. Don't mind the way my Nether looks. This was generated a very long time ago. This is a very old creative world I'm in here. I've been using it for quite a while. Pay no mind to all of that, and we're just going to go over here to this totally not repurposed glass box. I'm going to show you that lava now pushes things. There's been a few videos out already about this recent mechanic change in 1.18, but I'm just going to show you that it does work for all of the lava resilient mobs, like in the Nether. Not all Nether mobs are lava resilient, but these few are, for the zombified piglin, the zoglin, and the blaze. Which one will come out first? And let's go. Zoglin? No. We got a tiny little, what is that? Oh, a little pigman. Okay. Turn tick speed up, see if that moves him faster. No, you know what? I don't know why I thought that would work. Turn that back down. But yeah, see, he'll slowly get pushed along there. It's not very fast, but it works. The Zoglin too, they kind of move on their own, and he's attacking him now. It kind of shows my point here, but he's not getting burnt by the lava, and he will get pushed by it. You'll see there in a second. He's not going to be able to go back the other way. See, he's getting slowly pushed towards the edge there. We're probably going to want to get rid of him in a second, but let me put something else in there first. The blaze is the main thing that this has become useful for. There's a few farms out for this already. This is not super new, but they do get pushed along. Once again, it's not very fast, but they do get pushed. Now, let me get rid of this guy here so I can show you. It does not work for overworld mobs or other mobs that are not fire resistant. He's not dead? Come on. Alright, let me pop that glass back in there, and I will show you just what I'm talking about. We got a villager in here, and the cousin of the zombie pigman, the Hoglin. And yeah, see, villager just dies like that, obviously. And pop that guy in. So only the zombified cousins of those guys are useful for it. Now that's about all the mob changes I have for you here today. So let's move on to the final thing I wanted to show you. We're gonna have to go back to the overworld. And right here behind me I have some cauldrons. Now they've got some pretty interesting mechanics as of 1.18. This is nothing new either, but they do a few things. We can have renewable sources of water and lava. And the water can come from the dripstone as well, but it can come from rain, but I'm getting ahead of myself. See, if you have the dripstone there and a source block above it, it doesn't even have to be a source block. You can make this a little bit longer with one lava source, and that's it. As long as there's lava above it, it will drip. Let me turn the tick speed up so you can see that happen. It's not going to happen this quickly, obviously, in survival, but for the proof of concept, you can see. It fills up the cauldron there. Turn that back down, and there we go. Now the next interesting thing it does is that would also work if there was a water source above it. But did you know it also collects rain now? If I just set my weather to rain for a moment, you'll be able to see. It's probably going to take a second here, even if I turn it back up, but we'll try it out for a moment. Watching. No, this is like watching water boil. Alright, well, we're just going to have to turn the tick speed up here in a second, or just give it a moment to do what it's doing, and I'll come back to it. Now also, powdered snow works the same way. If you put cauldrons in an area where it's snowing, they'll fill up with that. You can scoop it right out. You can also put it into the cauldron for if you need to get yourself not being on fire. Now let's just check this thing again. Yep, there you see. Fills up in layers, just like lava would in there, or just like anything else if you were to scoop some out. That's, 3 useful facts for the cauldrons there. They've got some uses now, finally, that are other than just fill them with potions in Bedrock, which was an exclusive in this, and maybe you can see it a little bit better now. But those are the 5 things that are useful for farm changes. I hope this information helped you if you're a returning player. Hope you learned something. Hope you got something interesting out of this. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and goodbye.